Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making one of these two little farmers. I made the boy first, so in this video we'll be crocheting the girl, but the only thing you'll have to change is the colors of the shirts and the length of the hair and the head, body, arms, and legs are all no-sew, and then you'll have to sew on the ears, embroider the face, and then add the hair. I will be using a number 4 yarn, 12 millimeter safety eyes, and a 4.25 millimeter hook. This is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch with you, and I will also be providing a drop down at the top of the screen for the first 30 seconds of every row for you to follow along. And don't forget, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Not only does that help me out, but that also will notify you every time I load a new video. Okay, I think that's everything. So grab your yarn and let's get started. Okay, we are going to begin with our loop, and you can start yours any way you want, with chaining 2 or your magic ring, whichever way you prefer, as long as you have the same amount of stitches in row 1. What I like to do is I fold my yarn over, I wrap it around my finger and make a knot and leave that loop on the end, just like you were going to make a chain. And then I'm going to insert my hook, grab my yarn, and chain 1. And that does not count as a stitch. All that is attaching our yarn to our loop. And for row 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets into our loop. So 1, 2, and make sure you're going over your tail if you're doing it my way. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're just going to pull your tail to close up that little hole in the center. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, we are going to do 6 increases, so that's 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase for 1 and 2 stitches, increase for 3 and 4 stitches, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, increase 11 and 12. Rows 3 and 4 are going to be 12 single crochets all the way around, and I'm going to do them consecutively. So I'm going to do 24 stitches and flip my marker when I hit my sets of 12 for each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's one row. Flip my marker and I'm going to keep on counting to 24. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Row 5, we're going to do what I call a double crochet cluster of 3 and then 11 more single crochets around for a total of 12. So begin our cluster. You're going to yarn over, go in the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through, grab your yarn again and pull through the first 2 loops, and you're going to have 2 loops on your hook. So that's 1. We're going to do that again. Yarn over, in through that same stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through, grab your yarn again and go through the first 2 loops on the hook, and you now have 3 left, and that's twice. And we're going to do it one more time. Yarn over, into the same stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through, grab your yarn again and go through the first 2 loops. You have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to grab your yarn and you're going to go through all 4 of those loops. So there's your little bump for the thumb. And we have 11 more single crochets to go, and I'm going to do them consecutively. So I'm counting this as stitch 1 and my next stitch as 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Row 6, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 8. So a single crochet for 1 and a decrease for 2, and just repeat that around. So next single crochet is 3, decrease for 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, and our last decrease, we're going to go in both sides to start our decrease, and we're going to leave all those loops on the hook because we're going to change our color to the sleeve color now. So grab whatever color you're using next, and you're just going to tie that on nice and close to the hook to your hand color. Whoop. Somehow I got the wrong end. 2 and 3 times, or however many you want, and then cut off your hand color. Make sure you cut the right one. And then you're going to grab that new color and finish off your 8th stitch of the last row. Rows 7 to 14 are just going to be 8 single crochets all the way around, and I'm going to do those consecutively in 2 sets. So there's 8 rows. I'm going to split them into 2 sets of 4. 8 times 4 is 32, so I'm going to count to 32 once, flipping my marker every time I hit a set of 8, and then I'm going to count to 32 again, doing the same thing to get my 8 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to flip my marker. Keep on counting. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to flip my marker again. Keep on counting. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flipping my marker again, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. So that's my first 4 rows of my 8 rows. And I am going to start back at 0 again and do another 32 single crochets to get my last 4 rows. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to flip my marker. 9, whoopsie, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, flipping my marker, keep on counting, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flipping my marker, and this should be our last time around. Keep on counting, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay, now we're going to put a little stuffing in the arms, and what I like to do is just take a little bit that I think is going to do both arms, and then I split it in half so both arms are going to have the same amount, and then I'll set one chunk over to the side. So one of these, then I split it again, one's going in the hand, one's going up the arm. So we just want to get that first little batch down nice and tight into the hand so it makes kind of a little ball shape down there. And then you'll take your second chunk and you want that to evenly go through the arm. So you don't want to have like a big ball of it in the middle. So just nice and gentle right to the top there. Now get your hook back in there. You can take our stitch marker out. And what you're going to do is go across the top with 3 single crochets. So you're going to go in your next stitch on the side that's facing you, and in your last stitch on the side and the back, making sure you're going through both sides of that V, and then just single crochet across. 1 through the front and the back, 2, and again through the front and the back, 3, and then just give that a little pull and leave a tiny bit of a tail for later on. They are getting sewed in as we go through it, but I do something with the ends that kind of keep them tucked in nice and tight. So if you've just finished your first arm, I'm going to put a screenshot in the next frame with a timestamp so you can go back and start your second arm. And if you are done your second arm, just keep on watching and we'll go to the next part. All right, grab your foot color and again start however you want. I'll be starting with my knot with the loop on the end. Whoopsie. And then I'm just going to make my chain 1 to attach that yarn, remembering that doesn't count as a stitch. And for row 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets into our loop. So 1, 2, 3, make sure you're going over your tail, 4, 5, 6. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, we're going to be doing 6 increases all the way around, so 2 single crochets in every stitch for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, and our last increase 11 and 12. And if you forgot to pull your tail like I did, you can do that now as well. Row 3, you are going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, increase 2 and 3, 4, increase 5 and 6, 7, increase 8 and 9, 10, increase 11 and 12, 13, increase 14 and 15, 16, and an increase for 17 and 18. This next row we're going to be going in the back loop, so instead of going under both sides of that V like you normally do, we're going to come down in between the V and pick up that back loop and stitch in all the back loops all the way around. So row 4, in the back loops, we are going to do 18 single crochets. So down through that V and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoopsie, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, now 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Row 5, we're just going to do 18 single crochets all the way around, and we're going right back to our normal way under the V's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, did I get that? Nope. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Row 6, we are going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, repeat that around, and we'll be changing color at the end of this round also. So 1 and a decrease for 2, 3 and a decrease for 4, 5 and a decrease for 6, 7 and a decrease for 8, 9, a decrease for 10, 11, and a decrease for 12. But remember, we're not finishing that off. Grab your loops, get them on your hook, and we're going to change your color. All right, now we have our overall color, and you're going to tie that on to your shoe color nice and tight, close to the hook, a couple of times. I'm going to do one more time, and then cut your shoe color yarn. And then you're going to grab your new color and pull it through those 3 loops to finish off your last stitch. Rows 7 to 12 is going to be 12 single crochets all the way around. And that's 6 rows, and I'm going to split those again into 3 rows of 36 and another 3 rows of 36, and I get that number because 12 times 3 is 36. And I'm just going to flip my marker when I hit a set of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, flipping my marker, keep on counting, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flipping my marker, but keep on counting, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So that's our first 3 rows. We need 3 more rows. Going to start at 0 again and count to 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, flipping my marker, but keep on counting, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flipping my marker, keep on counting, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So there's our 6 rows of 12. Now, if this is your first leg, you are going to slip stitch, and then you're going to tie that off, leaving a little bit of a tail so you can do the hole that's left in between the legs. And I will put a timestamp over in the next frame so you can go back and start your second leg. And if you are on your second leg, we will just continue on to the next part, which will be joining the legs. So make sure you don't cut the string on the second leg, because we'll be using that to join the legs. Okay, to join the legs, you're going to have your second leg that you were just working on. You're going to grab your first leg, and you are going to put your hook one stitch in front of where you tied off. So you tied off right here, and you're going to go into this stitch just in front of it and make your first single crochet. And for row 13, we're going to do 12 single crochets on our first leg. Then we're going to go into our second leg and do another 12 single crochets for a total of 24. So we have our first single crochet. So just continue on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 is going to be going right in where we slip stitched 12. And you can tuck that string in if you want for later. and then we're going to go into the other leg. So this is, where's our last stitch? Our last stitch was right here on our other leg before we joined. So we're going to go in the next stitch over and do another 12 single crochets. I'm going to just keep counting. Oh no, I'll do 12. Okay. 1, whoopsie, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. In row 14, you want to make sure you have 24 single crochets all the way around, because it will affect the way the rest of your project goes if you miss a stitch. So our next stitch is going to be right there. So I'm just going to put my stitch marker in. And if you don't have 24, when you get to the end, just single crochet, or decrease or increase to get 24. So let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then you should be back at your stitch marker for 24. Row 15, we are going to do 3 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, and an increase, 4 and 5. And just repeat that around. 6, 7, 8, and an increase, 9 and 10. 11, 12, 13, and an increase, 14 and 15. 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, and an increase, 24 and 25. That should be our last set. 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30. Rows 16 and 17 are just going to be 30 single crochets all the way around. I'm going to do those 2 rows consecutively, so I'm going to count to 60 and then flip my marker when I hit my first set of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, whoops, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I'm going to flip my marker and keep on counting. I messed that up, didn't I? 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. This next row we are going to be going in the front loops. So again, just instead of going under both sides of that V, you're going to come down and up through the middle of the V. So we leave all those back stitches for our next row. So for row 18 in the front loops, we are going to do 30 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if you want to check if you're doing it right, you should be seeing a line on the other side, and that is your back loops. $11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and when you hit your 30 stitch, don't finish that off because we are going to be changing color. So grab your shirt color and tie that on nice and close to where your hook is. Give it a couple of extra knots. And then cut your pant color. And slide that new color through those 2 loops to finish off that last stitch of the row. All right, before we go any further, let's sew up that little hole that we have down between the legs here. So grab your darning needle and find that thread you tucked in there. So this will be the tail from your first leg you did. Now I'm just going to fold my, actually let's take that hook out, get it out of our way. So I'm just going to fold it down, find that hole, and I'm just going to weave in back and forth, making sure I don't get any of my other strings in the way. Just back and forth. And close that little hole up. You can make as many or as little little stitches as you want. I'm going to go twice, I think, back and forth on each side. Just be careful not to take too much of that next stitch so you don't create a hole somewhere else. Like I'm a little scared of taking that big chunk. Oh, there's a little piece I can get. Go halfway through it. And then if you just push your finger against there, oh, I do have a bit of a hole there, so I might just wrap there before I tie. Just check that you're happy with how that's closed, and then you're just going to tie that off. Give it a good knot or 2. And you can either tuck this in the leg or you can give it a cut. I'm going to cut mine because I have enough strings going on. And then you can also add a little bit of stuffing right now if you want. I'm just going to put some in his feet because my camera angle, if I stuff him as I go, he's too tall and I can't really reach good. I'm just going to put a little bit in his feet. You guys can stuff up to as far as you want. And you won't see me stuffing it till at least after I get to the neck after this. So just remember, if you need to stuff yours because you have a hard time getting down inside to the bottom, just remember to do that because I might forget to remind you. All right, I got my feet stuffed there, so that's as far as I'm going. So get your hook back in now. And for row 19, we're going to be going in these back loops that are left around the outside, and if you fold that last row down, it makes it a lot easier to find them and to get in them. So you're going to find your first back loop, so right there, and you're just going to do 30 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and don't worry about that stretching too much. When this flips up for the overalls, it will cover that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and you may have to dig a bit for that 30th stitch because it gets pulled around when you tied everything off there. 30. Rows 20 to 22 is just going to be 30 single crochets all the way around, and again I'm going to do that consecutively. So 3 times 30 is 90. I'm going to count to 90 and flip my marker every time I hit a set of 30. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and flip my marker and keep on counting. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, flipping my marker, keep on counting, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, oops, I caught something else there. It's just 84, I believe. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90. All right, we're going to start decreasing now. So if you need to stuff your little person before you get to a stitch count of 18, remember to keep doing that as you go. And for row 23, we are going to do 3 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease for 4, 5, whoopsie, 6, 7, and a decrease for 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, and a decrease for 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24. Rows 24 to 26 are going to be 24 single crochets around, and again I'm going to do that consecutively. So 24 times 3 is 72. So I'm going to count to 72 and flip my marker every time I hit a set of 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flipping my marker, but I'm going to keep on counting, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, flipping my marker and keeping on counting, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, oh, what is that? 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, last ones aren't going to go, 71 and 72. Row 27 is going to be 2 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, 2, and a decrease for 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, 8, and a decrease for 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, and a decrease for 18. Okay, this next row we're going to add the arms, and if you've had no problems with your stitch count, you should be exactly where I am. But if for some reason you're not, just fold your guy in half. Oh, I guess I only have pink one up here. And your arms are going to be 3 stitches, so you want to have a stitch on the side or on the end, and then 2 stitches on the side, and that's where your arms will be on both sides of your little person. So I'm just going to put, there's a side one there and one here, and that leaves me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches, and then I'm going to put my arm in, which is exactly what I have written down. But yours is a little bit different, that's how you find where your arm is, and then you'll have 6 stitches and then an arm on this side for 3 stitches. And you may have to adjust how many stitches are on this side. And just let me put a little chunk of thread in there, just so you know how to mark it if you're off. And I'm going to put the row separated into parts up top, so it's easier for you guys to follow along. Okay, so for row 28, we are going to start with 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's where I've marked off, so we know where our arms got to go. So grab your first arm, and you want to make sure, this is the back, so you want to make sure your thumbs are facing the front, and most likely your string should be facing the front as well. And you're going to go through the arm, and you're going to go through the next stitch of the body, and you're going to do 3 stitches like that. So 1, through the arm, through the next stitch in the body. That's 2 single crochets, and then your third one through the arm, through your next stitch of the body, and then you're ready to do the front, and that is going to be 6 single crochets. Make sure you are going in the next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then grab your other arm, remembering where's the back and where's the front, so that your thumbs are facing the front as well as these strings. Excuse me. And you are going to go again 3 single crochets across through the arm and the body. So through the arm, through the body, that's once, through the arm, through the next stitch of the body, that's twice, and through the arm and the next stitch of the body, that's 3 times. And I should have 1 stitch left unless you guys had to adjust for some reason. So 1 single crochet. We're going to start the head next, so if you need to, just double check that your arms are where you want them. Nice and on the sides. Oh, I made a mistake, but this is the first one, I think, so that's not too bad. We're changing colors, so we have to undo that last stitch and not finish it so we can change color. So there's our 1 single crochet not finished at the end of the row. And then you're going to tie your face color on, or skin color, I guess. Nice and tight, close to the hook, 2 or 3 times. I actually was worried about this pink for a shirt color, but I think I'm actually gonna like it. And just pull that color through. All right, row 29, we are going to be doing 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, and an increase, 3 and 4. And repeat that around. 5, 6, and an increase, 7 and 8. Make sure you don't go over your strings. You want them on the outside. 9, 10, and an increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, and an increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24. Row 30, we are going to be doing 3 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. So 1, oops, sorry about that, 2, 3, and an increase, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, and an increase, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, and an increase, 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, and an increase, 24 and 25, and our last set, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30. Row 31 is going to be 4 single crochets, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. So 1, 2, 3, what the heck? 4 and an increase, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase, 17 and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and an increase, 35 and 36. Row 32 is going to be 5 single crochets, an increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase, 6 and 7, and repeat, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and an increase, 13 and 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and an increase, 20 and 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 and an increase, 27 and 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and an increase, 34 and 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and an increase, 41 and 42. Okay, I'm going to grab my stitch marker now. So we just finished row 32, and rows 33 to 39 are going to be 42 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 30, whoops, I just went in the front there, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So that was row 33. And another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So that was row 34. And another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. That was row 35. And another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So that was row 36. another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So that was row 37. And another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and that was row 38, and we're going to 39. So I always check on my last row if I have got the right count. So to make my job easier right now, I know that my first row of skin color was row 29, so I'm just going to count from 29. So 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. And that is right. So I'll go on for row 39, our last row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So that was row 39. Row 40, we're going to do 5 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and a decrease for 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and a decrease for 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and our last decrease for 36, we are just going to start it, get our 3 loops on the hook, and we are going to change to the hair color, and then we'll put on some eyes, we'll finish stuffing. Alright, for the eyes, we're going to flatten our little person down, and we're going to find about the center. So I usually like to use the arms as a reference, so I use these pink stitches. So this is about my center right here, and I'll just go up a bit. And I'm in a stitch, I'm not in a hole. And then we're going to count down, whoopsie, dropped my pin cushion, 5 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to go in between 5 and 6. And then grab your eyes, and I'm going to go 4 holes over from the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Whoopsie. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in that fourth hole, and just kind of have a look and see if that is even to you. And again, I just kind of use my arms. And I think that's good. So we'll put the backs on. Whoop. And then we might as well put some more stuffing in. I'm actually going to finish this stitch so I can pull my yarn out so it's not all in my way while I'm stuffing it. So I'm going to have to stuff all the way down to the legs, and hopefully you guys are here and you just got to put a little bit in the head. I think I'm going to do that mostly off camera just because it's going to take me a while. And my videos are already very long. So just stuff him up. You should have him firmly in the legs and a little softer in the tummy, and then a little firmer in the head, but that won't be till we close him up. All right, so let's do our color change. And I think I shouldn't have stuffed mine yet because I don't think he'll fit in the camera now. So I'm going to take that last decrease out and do it halfway so I can change my color. And just tie it nice and close to the hook a couple of times. Yep, I'm not going to be able to reach here. That's as high as I can get it to go. Okay. And then just pull your new color through. Cut off your old color if you haven't already. And for row, where's my stitch marker? 41, we are going to do 4 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. And I apologize if I hit my camera here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a decrease for 10, 11, 12, 13, oh my goodness, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and a decrease for 25, 26, can't even see what I'm doing here. 27, 28, 29, and a decrease for 30. Oh, well, that happened. Okay. Row 42 is going to be 3 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. Oopsie, 4, 4. 5, 6, 7, and a decrease for 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, and a decrease for 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24. Row 43 is going to be 2 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that around for a total of 18. So 1, 2, and a decrease for 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, 8, and a decrease for 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, and a decrease for 18. Maybe stuff the head some now before we only have 2 rows left. And when I stuff mine, I kind of push it to the side a bit to give it a little more, I don't know what you would call it. I don't know. I think I just put some DNA in there. You do want it fairly firm so that you can shape it a bit and it'll stay. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more, but I need it closer to me, so I'll be right back. Okay. I don't know how well you'll see this, But if you've gotten with me this far, you will definitely be able to just follow along by my voice or the instructions on top of the screen. So for row 44, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease for a total of 12. 1 and decrease for 2, 3 and a decrease for 4, 5. Oops, I got stuffing. I'm going to redo that one. So 5 and then 6 for a decrease, 7 and then another decrease for 8, 9, and a decrease for 10, 11, and a decrease for 12. I got a little stuffing in there too, but I just remembered the hair is going to cover that, so I'm leaving it. All right, for row 45, we're just going to do 6, oopsie, decreases. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I was thinking about doing a bunch of animals from the feet up to the top of the head, but doing this one is starting to make me think maybe that's not a great idea. I might have to make them sitting ones instead, because there's no hair to cover up if you have a lot of holy decreases. And then we're just going to slip stitch and tie that off, leaving a little bit of a tail so we can close it up. Oops. Or you're going to get your needle back out. I think I'm going to take the stitch marker out. All right, thread your tail. Make sure you have enough stuffing in there. This is your last chance to add it. And then you're just going to weave in and out those top stitches. If you've done my Frankenstein video, you're going to see right here why I was so happy with how I decreased. Look at all these holes. You can fix that if you weren't putting hair on here to cover that mess. Once you close the circle up like this, you can weave around and go backwards in your spiral and then pull these all in. But because we are doing hair, I just put brown on top just so when you put the hair on, it's not white underneath. because I was doing the other way before, and then I thought, well, why don't I do a little bit of color on the top, and then you won't see that if the hair is a little thin, because the hair is not my favorite. I will actually say I don't know how to do hair. But I will show you enough to get you by, and then if you have another way, you can do it your way. All right, so let's put these arm strings in. I'm going to tip this back down. Whoops. Everything was going so good until I started the head. I actually did the head 3 times on video because these repeat rows kept squeaking on me. Okay, so I need my needle. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down in that hole where your last stitch of attaching the arm was. So you have your knot there and your last stitch. And you're just going to bring it out the back, kind of in the center where the neck and the shirt meet, or the head and the shirt, and then do the same thing on the other side. You don't have to do this if you don't want. I just think it helps out the integrity of the arms. So you're going to put that in that hole right there where the last stitch is. Come out the same place your other string was. Don't worry if you're exactly centered, as long as you're fairly centered. And then you're going to tie them one time and keep your yarn ends even. So just wrap them around and it'll keep them on the right sides. And now what you're going to do is you're going to tie that tight, and you're going to pop in those knots and bring those arms in. And then they won't be as wobbly or loose. So just as tight as you want, remembering it will relax a little bit. And then just tie that a couple of times. And then rethread them and put them out the body somewhere. I'm going to try doing 2 at once, but I bet it won't work. Nope. Oh, almost. Okay, what did I do there? So just come out the back. And pull that down. You may have to kind of shape that hole back in because that's a lot of thread to put through there. All right, let's do the bib for the overalls. And what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of find your center. And then you're going to go over 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, and that is where your bib is going to start and end. So just have a look. Make sure you don't have to move it over one way or the other. And then you're just going to grab your overall color with a little bit of a tail. You're going to make a knot with a loop on the end, like you're going to chain. We will be attaching this piece where our first pin is. So I'm just going to hold that stitch and then stick my hook in there, grab my loop, and then chain 1. Now remember to go over the tail. If it's too long, we can cut that later. And starting in the same stitch that we just attached the yarn to, you're going to do 7 single crochets across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then I'm going to turn, and starting in that next stitch, we're going to do 7 across again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and that might be a tight spot, but make sure you get in there under both sides of the V. Turn again, and then starting in that first stitch, we're going to do 7 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then get in that 7th stitch. 7. And one more time, turn, and in that next stitch we're going to do 7 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, turn around again so he's facing you. And now we're going to chain up and around his shoulder to the back. So I'm going to do about 13 stitches. Your stitches might be different. And we'll just measure how far we need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we'll bring it back and around. See if it's going to meet. And I think that's good enough for me. So I'm going to slip stitch. So I'm going to slip stitch in this one and then this one. So those are a little more even. So we'll slip stitch. Slip stitch. And then we did 13 on this side. So now we need to chain 13 again to go to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then just pull that around. We're going to attach it in the other corner on the other side. Just with a slip stitch. Oops, hope I was in camera for that. And then tie it off, leaving some tail to sew in, weave in, I guess. So thread your needle. Oh, and make it easier, take his little straps off. And I'm just going to come down, actually I might come down a second row. And I'm just going to weave in and out on this side. Grabbing the tops of all those stitches. And I think I'll just do one more time. You can do as many times as you want, whatever you feel makes it the most secure. And if you had tail left over on the bottom, you want to cut that off too. And put his little straps back on. I gotta stop. Alright, grab a scrap or chunk of your skin yarn and get that on your needle. And what you're going to do is come in somewhere in the center, and then you're going to come out kind of at a 45 to the eye, that little stitch right there. Pull through and leave some yarn on this side for tying. And then you're going to go down under the eye in that hole, and you're going to go straight down and come up just where the colors meet between the shirt and the face. And I'm not going to pull this tight yet, just in case I need to move my yarn around a bit. And then I'm going to look to see what stitch I need to come back out of, and I'm going to choose this one straight down from the bottom of his eye. So that's the stitch that I want to be going down in, and I'm going to weave in and out, and it worked out perfect, so I'm going to be going down in that stitch next. I'm going to take my pin out. Now I'm going to go down in that stitch I marked, and I'm going to come up just under the eye. And again, I'm not pulling it tight yet. Now I'm going to go in that stitch that's at a 45 degree and come back out where I started. And I think I'm happy with how it went, so I'm going to kind of tighten it a bit. I'm going to put one tie in. I'm going to kind of try and move everything manually by hand and tighten this string at the same time, just so it helps not pull the stitches as much, but you are going to get a little bit. So just pull it till you're happy with it, remembering it will relax a little bit. And then you'll give it a better tie. I'm going to do one more time. And then those ends are going to go out the back. Oops, that was attached. I gotta get better at this on video. There you go. Come on. There we go. And then you're just going to put those ends down through that same hole you started in and tied in, and then come out the back. And then you're going to give that a cut. Now we're going to do the nose. So with that same skin color, you want to have your nose about 2 rows from where you attached your eyes. So the eyes are in this row right here. This curves up so it kind of looks like it's not, but it is this row. So you're going to go down 2 rows. So 1, 2, find your center, and then decide how wide your nose is going to be. And I'm going to put my strings in this hole on either side. So I'm just going to hold my finger there. I'm going to go down a row to insert my hook, and then I'm going to come out where I want the one side of my nose to be. Leave some thread on the other side. And that was my center, so this is where I want the other side of my nose to be. And I'm just going to go around that a few times. I would say probably around 4. So that's twice. Three times. I don't know where I want that piece to be. Yeah, I'm going to at least go 4. Let's have a look. I might go one more time. So I'm going around 5 times. Okay, and then I'm going to come out where I started. I'm going to very lightly tie that. Because I don't want to pull these stitches. A little tighter, and then another time quite a bit tighter. Then we got to put that out the back. So in that same hole you knotted it, you'll go down and out the back. Careful not to pull your nose. Again, if you have to, you can hang on to it. And I'm just going to lift that back up where my knot was. Cut that. And now let's do the mouth. So kind of just like the nose, but with one line instead of 5. So this is the nose row. You're going to go down 1, 2 rows and just decide where your mouth is going to be. And I think I want to start it there and there. So I'm going to go 1 row down, come out where I want to start, and then just make sure I'm even. I think here. And then you're just going to come back out where you started. Don't pull that too tight. All right, I think that looks okay. So I'm going to tie that fairly loose, just like we did the nose knot. And then slowly get tighter. Then we're going to thread that in out the back. Oh, I had it. Oh, there we go. So right through the hole where you started and out the back. Again, you might want to hold on to your mouth so that you don't pull that when you pull the knot. Cut that one off, and because this is black on white, you may have to go in and push that in so you don't see it. Now we're going to do the eyebrows, so get whatever color you're going to do the hair in, or you did the top of your head. And somewhere in the center again, you're going to go over, I'm going to start in the back. So you're going to go over one stitch and up a row from the eye here. And they can be anywhere. Whoops, leave that tail there. And then just kind of decide where you want it to end over here. I'm going to go there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go over a stitch and up one row. And now the tricky part is to try and go back in so they're even. So let's see, I went up 1, 2, 3 holes. So up 1, 2, 3 holes. And that one looks a little close to the inside of the eye, so I'm going to go there, I think. And then just come out where you started. Let's see how we did. I think that's good enough. All right, so now again, we're going to tie those nice and light. And a little tighter. I think I'm only doing this one twice. Yeah. And then we're going to put that end in and put it out the back. Again, remember, don't pull your eyebrows in too far when you're pulling this piece out. Cut that off. Check if you have to push that darker color down so you can't see it. Have a look. I'm just going to close that little hole I made. Alrighty. I guess we better put some ears on this little lady. Alright, so grab your yarn and you're going to want to leave yourself a fair bit of tail because you're going to use both ends to tie your ears on. And you're just going to make a knot with a loop on the end. I'm not sure, you could probably use the magic ring and the chain 2 still with this. All we're going to do is put 6 single crochets into the loop. So we're going to chain 1 to attach that yarn. Remember, that's not a stitch. And then 6 single crochets. And we don't want to go over our yarn tail. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're just going to pull that tight and tie that off, leaving a tail. And then we're going to make 2 of those, so let's do one more right now. So leave your tail, make your knot with the loop on the end, or however you're starting. Whoops, that was a little big. Let's see if I can tighten it smaller. And then we're going to put our 6 single crochets in there after we do our chain 1 to attach our yarn. So 1, now I got it too small of a hole. Don't go over your tail. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Tighten it a bit and tie it off with a tail. So before you get started, you want to make sure you've decided what side of the ear you want showing. So I'm going to have where you see the little V's showing. So take your top string of that ear, thread your needle, and line up right with your eye. So this hole right here, just kind of even with the eye, and we're going to count back 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just kind of right where the arms are. And we're just going to go around that stitch. And then we're going to go into the first stitch of the ear. And then we're going to take our bottom string and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to line up underneath a stitch we went in. So this is the stitch we went around. We're going to go 1 stitch down and around that stitch, 1 row down, and then through the first stitch of the ear. Get them nice and tight. And then we're just going to tie those in the back. I'm going to do it twice. And then rethread our yarn so we can hide those ends out the back. So we're just going to go down right behind the ear there and through to the center of the head somewhere. And then we'll do the other side. So make sure you have the right side facing you. Grab the top string of your yarn. Thread your needle. Line up your stitches. So I'm going to use, make sure you're on the right row. So I'm going to use this one. Go back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're just going to go around that stitch. Have a quick look to see that they're going to be even. I think they're good enough. Then you're going to go through that first stitch on your ear. Wow, I got a mess here. This guy got to come through and then down. Oops. Then we're going to do the same thing with the bottom string of the ear. So find what stitch you went in. So we went in around this stitch. So I'm going to come down 1 more. I'm going to do this back one maybe. It didn't really line up that great on this side. And then through the first stitch of the ear. Give them a tie. This is not. Come on, cooperate. thread your other string on. Now you're going to go down right against the ear like you did on the other side. And you're going to, oh, that wasn't very centered. You're going to come over to where you first came out with your other one. Make sure your strings are matching the right ear. So these two go to this one, and these two go to this one. You're going to give them one tie. Make sure your strings are going the right way for your tie. Turn them around, and you can skip this part, or you can do what I'm about to do. But if you want his or her face to come in a bit, you're going to pull those and bring those ears in nice and tight. I think I am going to do that. And then give it another tie to secure it. And then we got to get all these ends back in there. And one more. And then go down that same hole and out somewhere. Come on. I must have a big lump of stuffing there or something. All right, give that a cut. Okay, so we got her face, and I think I'm going to do the hat next while I try and figure out what I want to do for her hair. All right, we are going to begin the hat, and you can start any way you want. I will be making the knot with the loop on the end. And then I'm just going to grab my yarn and do my chain 1. Remember, that does not count as a stitch. That's just attaching the yarn to the hook. And for row 1, we are going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, we are going to be doing 6 increases, so that's 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, increase 11 and 12. Row 3, we are going to be doing 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. 1, increase 2 and 3, 4, increase 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, and an increase, 17 and 18. Row 4, we are going to do 2 single crochets and an increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, and an increase, 3 and 4. 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8. 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, increase, 23 and 24. Row 5, we're going to do 3 single crochets, increase, repeat that around for a total of 30. 1, 2, 3, increase, 4 and 5. 6, 7, 8, increase, 9 and 10. 11, 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15. 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, and an increase, 24 and 25. 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30. Row 6 is going to be 4 single crochets, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase, 5 and 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase, 11 and 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase, 17 and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and an increase, 35 and 36. Row 7, we're going to do 5 single crochets and an increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 42. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase, 6 and 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and an increase, 13 and 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and an increase, 20 and 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and an increase, 27 and 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and an increase, 34 and 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and an increase, 41 and 42. Rows 8 to 12 is going to be 42 single crochets. So I'm just going to get my row counter out. We just finished row number 7. So 5 rows of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So that was row 8. And another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So that was row 9. And another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So that's our 10 rows. And another row of 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So that should be 11, row 11. We're going to row 12, so let's just double check. We have 11 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have one more row of 42. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. And that brings us to row 12. All right, row 13, we're going to do one single crochet, one increase all the way around in the front loops. And if you remember front loops, we're just going in that first side and then up through the middle of the V. And I have 63 stitches written down, so that could be right or that could be wrong. If it's wrong, I will fix it up top there in the brackets. So 1, remember front loops, increase, 2 and 3. 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, increase, 17 and 18, 19, increase, 20 and 21, 22, increase, 23 and 24, 25, increase, 26 and 27, that sounds wrong, 28 and an increase, 29 and 30, or maybe not, 31, increase, 32 and 33, 34, increase, 35 and 36, 37, increase, 38 and 39, 40, increase, 41 and 42, 43, increase, 44 and 45, 46, increase, 47 and 48, 49, increase, 50 and 51, 52, increase, 53 and 54, 55, increase, 56, 57, 58, increase, 59, 60, 61, increase, 62 and 63. Okay, now we will be going back in the normal loops. So for row 14, we're just going to do 63 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, whoops, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, and 63. Row 15, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for 84. Okay, I might forget to say increase, so I apologize, but I always say the number and the number when it's an increase, so if you're not sure, or just go around doing your sets, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, and don't worry if it's 84 or whatever, you'll get it. So 1, 2, increase, 3 and 4, 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, increase, 23 and 24, 25, 26, increase, 27 and 28, 29, 30, increase, 31 and 32, 33, 34, increase, 35 and 36, 37, 38, increase, 39 and 40, 41, 42, increase, 43 and 44, 45, 46, increase, 47, 48, 49, 50, increase, 51 and 52, 53, 54, increase, 55 and 56, 57, 58, increase, 59 and 60, 61, 62, increase, 63 and 64, 65, 66, 67 and 68, 69, 70, increase, 71 and 72, 73, 74, increase, 75 and 76, 77, 78, 79 and 80, 81, 82, and an increase, 83 and 84. Holy, I thought I forgot how to count there every couple of stitches. Okay, that's the end of our hat, but I don't know how much it helps, but I'm going to do like a single and a slip, just to kind of maybe not have this such like quite a difference there. So I'm just going to do maybe 1 or 2 single crochets. And let's put a slip stitch. See how that looks. And maybe 1 more slip stitch. I don't know. Well, it looks better than the other one I did. That's for sure. So we're just going to tie that off now. You need a little bit to weave in. Okay, so grab your darning needle and we'll weave this end in. After all my disasters from the neck up on the body, this hat went together really good. I think I only had to redo one row, and that's because I think it was the first row we were increasing it, or we were doing the front loops. No, it was the first row after the front loops when we were increasing. And about halfway through I stopped saying increase before the increases. So let's just get this down a bit. It doesn't really matter where you go. Oh yeah, I didn't mention it, but since I'm just doing this now, I actually did the head or the face twice too. What did I do? I gotta remember what I did. Why did I have to go back and redo the face? Oh, I was pressing record and unrecord opposite. So when I was trying to record, it wasn't recording. And then when I was shuffling around getting my stuff ready for the next row, it was recording. That was from the suspense right here, or starting at the bib all the way to everything but the eyebrows. So I'd shape the face, put the mouth and nose and everything on, and then I made a mistake and I went back to look at what I'd recorded, and I recorded myself fumbling around getting something and talking to myself. And I think that was about an hour of videoing that I didn't even notice I was doing that opposite. It happens. Alright, let's put it on her for now. So for the hair, for the boy, I just did short little sections. They're probably about an inch and a half. And I went starting at, I'll show you on the other one actually. So starting around in all these rows, I started in the middle and I slowly spiraled out. Some I put a few extras in. I just went around and around and around till I got to about here. And that's about where I usually stop. But I wanted him to have lots of nice hair. And this is probably the best hair I've done so far. If you're familiar with some of my other characters, I'm not the best at hair. And then I went down. I think I pinned it. I just kind of went down on each side with a couple of strands. And then I went back and forth about halfway. And then when I got down here, I started skipping a few stitches just so I thought it was nice and full enough. And to make his hair, it's been a long time, but I think I just used my fingers. And I might have done about 4 fingers, and I just wrapped the yarn around and around and around and around. And when I thought I had enough to deal with, I would give it a cut. So down at the bottom. That looks about the right length. And then to add it, I'm going to do it in the white so it's easier to see. I just came down in one and around a row. Oh, there's yarn there. That's funny. So down, around a row, grab the middle. Make sure your ends are even. Oh, sorry, this is awkward to try and do, holding her in the air. So you bring up your loop, and then you'll grab those 2 strands and bring that through your loop, and then just pull it down. Now, if you have a better way of doing hair, please do it your way. This takes forever. Now I need that out. And for the girl, I'm going to use these on her bangs maybe. I'm going to use a book. So what you want to do is kind of measure the length of your, I dropped my yarn, of course, the length of your, where you want her hair to end. So if I want it to be about this long, that's half of my string. So I'll fold it over, maybe cut that there so I have one example and keep that to the side. And then I'll find something that I can wrap around that'll give me that length. Now, I usually do overkill, and I think I'm going to do it again. I usually use a book of some sort. And so see, this doesn't wrap around, but I'm going to wrap it all the way around the book. So mine's going to be a little longer than I need. And then I'm just going to, sorry. I'm just going to wrap it around like this. The book is heavy. Wrap it around like this. Probably could easily do 50 at a time until you get closer to the end, and then you'll just cut it in one spot on the bottom. And when I do her, I want to try and do where her hair comes down like this, and maybe try braiding it, but it might be too thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down straight about 4 rows. So 2 on this side of her head and 2 on the other side of her head, and then see if that covers the white enough so I don't have to do all the brown. And then the first 2 or 3 rows I might do short ones for bangs. So if I start in a line, keep in mind whether you want to have a part there or not, and that will kind of dictate how many times you want to go down on each side. So that will probably be the length of her hair. And then when I do her bangs, which I will do first, I'm just going to go around that stitch, just like I did the boy. And then I'll probably have to trim these after. So that should get you started on the hair. I'm going to do all this off camera because it does take a while. So it will probably be tomorrow for me, but with the magic of the internet and editing, you should be done in the next frame. And here she is with her hair all finished. My original plan to make rows going up and down from the head to the neck did not work out. As I got down here, when I pulled it over to make the little braids, you just could see all that white. So I scrapped that plan, took it out, and I just went around in the spirals on top like you would for the boy. And then this is what I ended up with. And I think she looks okay. If you enjoyed making this video, please hit the subscribe button. Not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I make a new video. And I just want to say a quick thank you to all my viewers that have left me comments or messages saying how much they appreciate the fact that I do everything in my videos, because I know that makes them long, and I appreciate you appreciating the time that I put into these, because you also have to put your time into my videos. So again, thank you so much for watching. Take care, be safe, and happy crocheting.